stands for Maximum Aerobic Function. Is all about MAF running and my experience with MAF running over the last 6 weeks. If it's something you're interested in, please subscribe. So MAF stands for Maximum Aerobic Function. Basically, I'm running at my maximum aerobic level. So the reason you'd run at that level is to build your aerobic system. A lot of people run and then have to take gels and take in carbohydrates when you're running. The idea behind MAF running is that you're teaching your body to burn fat rather than carbohydrates. And if you can do that, you actually have a lot more fat than you do have glycogen stores or carbohydrate stores in your body. So how do you work out your MAF heart rate? It's 180 minus your age. I'm 50, so my MAF heart rate then is 130, but then it's plus or minus 5 to 10 points depending on a couple of criteria. So I'll put a link in the description below to where to find how to calculate your MAF heart rate if it's something you're interested in. So what I do is I have a Garmin heart rate monitor and I wear the chest strap heart rate monitor because it's a lot more accurate than the wrist heart rate. And then I set my watch to give me alerts if I go either above or below my heart rate. So what I do is I set it between 126 and 135. And if I'm below 124, it beeps. If I go above 135, it beeps. I started this about 6 weeks ago. And when I first did it, my pace was almost 7 minutes a kilometre. So that's pretty slow by anyone's standards. So prior to this, I was probably doing a 5K run in around 26 minutes. So that was probably, 5:15 pace I was running. And then to go to almost 7 minutes, so more than a minute and a half slower, it really feels like you're walking. It's not easy if you have a bit of an ego, and I think everyone has a bit of an ego, so sometimes you go out and make sure I put my hat down so people hopefully can't recognize me when I'm running. I've kind of got over that now, but I did do that at the beginning. After 6 weeks, I'm down to around 6:20 pace. So I've probably dropped or increased my pace around 30 seconds per kilometre. The idea for me is to do it for about 3 to 5 months. Then when races get closer, introduce some speed work. So one of the key indicators too is to do a math test, once every 4 weeks or so. So the idea behind that, you do a warm up until you get your heart rate to the MAF level, and then you run for half an hour at that level and see what your distance is. So I did it first up when the very first day I started, did a test there, and then I did a second one, and I got, probably 750 meters further on the second one. So then the idea is the next one I do in another 4 weeks will be, hopefully I'll go a bit further and then keep going. So you can actually see your progression. One thing I did notice, I was really tired one day and went out for a run, and I found that it was much, much harder to keep my heart rate low. So there are obviously external stresses that can put your heart rate up, not just running. So, if you're tired, if you haven't slept well, if you haven't been eating well, all those kind of things can contribute to a higher heart rate anyway. So if you're eating well and sleeping well, training well, giving yourself enough recovery, then your heart rate will stay lower and it's much easier to move at a faster pace at that lower heart rate. Another benefit of MAF running is improved recovery. Because you haven't exerted yourself so much, then your body is not as inflamed as it would be if you had done a hard run. And so your recovery is much quicker. It means you can go to another session. It means you can keep training without feeling fatigued and without really wearing your body out. Recovery is really important. And also the long-term effects. It does help you with your longevity in triathlon, and that's my aim. So I feel like I still have quite a few years left.